Good morning. My name is Pat Lichtman, and I serve as a spirituality trustee on your DuPage UU Church Board. We want to welcome everyone this morning to our open and inclusive virtual community. As Unitarian Universalists, we hold that there are many spiritual paths to truth and meaning, and pledge to support one another as we explore these paths. We are so glad you were able to find us and join us for our live stream service. Please check the church website, www.dupageuchurch.org, for updates. If you search under DuPage UU Church on Facebook, you will find a number of ways to be in community with us. Zoom with your board. Your Board of Trustees would like to invite you to come Zoom with your board today after the service. Join your Board of Trustees on Zoom the first Sunday of every month directly after the service at 11:30 a.m. for conversation and connection. We'd love to have you join us. The Zoom link can be found on the Members tab of our website and in the weekly church email. Now, one more announcement. Auction 2020, Star Trek, The Final Frontier. Well, the final week anyway, leading to a 3-day virtual auction experience. Boldly proceed to dupageuchurch.org/auction 2020, where you'll find information leading to auction tickets and how to create a profile for viewing auction items and bidding. Have you looked at the offerings yet? Wow, awesome items and events. Did you miss the October 30th donation submission deadline? Oops. Before submitting anything new up until Friday noon, please contact auction@dupageuchurch.org. Bidding begins Friday, November 6th at 5 p.m. and runs through noon on Sunday, November 8th. And there's a cool Zoom party with costumes encouraged on Saturday, November 7th. Look for the link to Auction 2020 information under quick links on the church website homepage, in emails coming your way, and in the November newsletter. Help DuPage UU Church live long and prosper.
Good morning. My name is Bob Harris, and I am a member of our church's Ministerial Search Committee, the group that will find our congregation's next minister. We need your help this week. We have a very short 3-question survey that we would like our members to complete. The questions are about the racial and ethnic makeup of our congregation and about disabilities that make it harder for our members to participate in church activities. It will probably take you less time to fill out the survey than it will for you to listen to this message. We do need answers to this survey this week in order to finish the rest of our work. So please look for the survey on the Ministerial Search Info section of our church website, which is dupageuchurch.org/search info. Or check your email this week for the survey link. We also have our Beyond Categorical Thinking workshop on Saturday, November 14th. If you would like to attend, you must register for this by November 7th. Details about this workshop and how to register for it are also available at our Ministerial Search information page on the church website. Thank you for your help and have a peaceful week.
Thanks, Vera. Zip-a-dee-doo-dah is one of those kinds of songs that is going to get stuck in my head all day. Okay. Welcome, you who come in need of healing, you who are confused or have been betrayed. Welcome with your problems and your pain. Welcome, too, your joys and your wonderings. Welcome your need to hope, your longing for assurance. Instead of answers, here you may find safety for your questions. Instead of promises, may you find community for your struggles. People with hands and hearts to join you in engaging the challenges and changes of our day. May it ever be so, and blessed be you all. Our chalice lighting this morning will be by Ben Phillips.
May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom.
Thank you, Ben. I invite you now to join your voices in song. Our opening hymn is number 346 in the gray hymnal. Come, sing a song with me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Please join us in saying the spoken affirmation followed by our sung affirmation.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. From all who dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, through every land, by every tongue.
To get us started this morning, I have a short story by Patrice Karst. and the name of the book is The Invisible String. Liza and Jeremy, the twins, were asleep one calm and quiet night. Suddenly, it began to rain very hard. Thunder rumbled until it got so loud that it woke them up. "Mommy, Mommy," they cried as they ran to her. "Don't worry, you two. It's just the storm making all that noise. Go back to bed." "We want to stay close to you," said Jeremy. "We're scared." Mom said, "You know, we're always together, no matter what." "But how can we be together when you're out here and we're in bed?" asked Liza. Mom held something right in front of them and said, "This is how." Rubbing their sleepy eyes, the twins came closer to see what Mom was holding. "I was about your age when my mommy first told me about the invisible string." "I don't see a string," said Jeremy. "You don't need to see the invisible string. People who love each other and are always connected by a very special string made of love." "But if you can't see it, how do you know it's there?" asked Liza. "Even though you can't see it with your eyes, you can feel it with your heart and know that you are always connected to everyone you love. When you're at school and you miss me, your love travels all the way along the string until I feel it tug on my heart. And when you tug it right back, we feel it in our hearts," said Jeremy. "Does Jasper the cat have an invisible string?" Liza asked. "She sure does," said Mom. "And best friends like me and Lucy?" asked Liza. "Best friends too." "How far can the string reach?" "Anywhere and everywhere," Mom said. "Would it reach me even if I were a submarine captain deep in the ocean?" asked Jeremy. "Yes," Mom said, "even there." "Or a mountain climber?" "Even there." "A dancer in France?" "Even there." "A jungle explorer?" "Even there." "How about an astronaut out in space?" "Yes, even there." Then Jeremy quietly asked, "Can my string reach all the way to Uncle Brian in heaven?" "Yes, even there." "Does the string go away when you're mad at us?" "Never," said Mom. "Love is stronger than anger, and as long as love is in your heart, the string will always be there. Even when you get older and can't agree about things like what movie to see, or what game to play in the back seat, or what time to go to bed. Oh, that's right, you two should be in bed." And with that, they all laughed as Mom chased the twins back to their beds. And within a few minutes, they were asleep, even though the storm was still making the same loud noises outside. And as they slept, they started dreaming of all the invisible strings they have, and all the strings their friends have, and their friends have, and their friends have, until everyone in the world was connected by invisible strings. And from deep inside, they now can clearly see no one is ever alone.
Every year during the winter holidays, there is a group that works to bring food to folks in need. There are many Meals on Wheels programs out there, but this one is especially for this time of year. I understand that this church has supported the Holiday Meals on Wheels program for many years, and I encourage you to give generously this year. In this time of COVID, isolation is even more of an issue, and we can really make a difference in people's lives. To say a little more about this program, we have a short video.
Every day, we see the difference your donations make to the lives of our seniors. Your generous support allows the DuPage Senior Citizens Council to fulfill on our mission to initiate, deliver, monitor, and coordinate services that promote the ability of older persons to live their lives in dignity. We are a volunteer-driven organization. Our small staff, supported by our caring and committed volunteers, allow for the depths of services that we provide. But it's your donations that make the difference. Meals on Wheels is our most visible service. Many seniors who live alone find it difficult to prepare their own meals. Without this service, our seniors would miss meals, become malnourished, their health would deteriorate, and they end up in the hospital. In addition to delivering meals, the DSCC provides a unique well-being check with emergency follow-up procedures in place if needed. Our well-being check service ensures that the seniors are mentally and physically healthy and that their home environment is safe and secure. Think of the peace of mind knowing that loved ones are cared for. Letting a senior know that they really matter, that someone cares, is the cornerstone of our friendly visits and assistance service. This service incorporates socialization and helps with small tasks. Many friendships have developed from these visits, which means so much to our seniors. For seniors who live alone, keeping up with minor home repairs, the DSCC provides the minor home repair service. Our relationship with the seniors affords them peace of mind. Yard cleanup service is seasonally available. To keep our seniors' property safe and presentable, we rake leaves, pick up any yard waste or debris, and remove it. While we're there, we also do a well-being check to make sure that everything's okay. The DSCC also provides ongoing health and wellness education in matter of balanced fall prevention. It's designed to keep our seniors healthy and in the know. Our community dining service is for the many seniors who can still get out and socialize. It offers seniors the opportunity to gather together, share a meal, and make friends. We provide an ever-changing menu of fresh items. Many of our community dining locations even feature ethnic foods and cultural themes, bringing even more fun to our seniors' lives. Our intergenerational activities help support our seniors in other ways, usually performed by young people, be it plays, concerts, greeting cards, or small gifts. The seniors appreciate that someone was thinking of them. Pets are important and beneficial to many seniors' well-being. For some, providing for their beloved pet is a challenge. Our pet care and food assistance service helps by providing pet food and veterinary visits. Hi, I'm Mary Vandeveld, and I'm one of the many volunteers that help to provide the services for the DuPage Senior Citizens Council. It's your donations that make all of these services possible. As the county continues to grow, so do the needs of our growing senior population. Your support of the council allows us to keep up with the increasing demand. A donation of $3,000 will feed a senior for an entire year. Your donation of $1,000, less than the cost of your daily trip to Starbucks for a year, will provide 100 lonely seniors with friendly visits. For a small donation of $250, the price of a nice dinner, you will feed a senior for a month. Your donation truly does make a difference. Please donate now.
It's time to gather. This month, our theme is healing. And today we are talking about not running away from the hard work it takes to heal a relationship. In the story that I just shared with you earlier, they said that people are connected to their loved ones and friends by an invisible string. So let's take that concept even further. If I had a disagreement with someone, or maybe said something that hurt that person, then we would have a knot in our string.
Well, look at that. And just like it's hard to untangle a knot, it's also hard to fix a relationship when we hurt someone. Have you ever seen or used a talking tube at a playground? They are pipes that start with a funnel and then goes underground and comes out at another place across the playground with another funnel. People can then talk to each other through the tube. So we made a talking tube using hose and funnels, and I have one end of it right here.
And I'm in the back stairwell of the sanctuary with the other end of the tube. Now, when I talk into the tube, Rev Mike should be able to hear me through the tube. Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, excellent. Now I wonder what would happen if there were a knot in a tube. Kinda like this. Mike, can you hear me now?
Where did he go? Now, with the knot in the tube, it's hard for us to communicate with each other. So if we leave a knot in the string that ties us together, it leaves us not communicating with each other, and no one is doing the hard work of healing.
Yep. So if we're going to do the hard work of healing, we must first admit that there is a knot. Look, Mike, there's a knot.
Oh, it's only one little knot. It won't do any harm.
See, you should have done the extra work up front. Now you have all these knots to fix.
That's true, I do. It takes effort to untie a knot. We can't give up after only one try. Sometimes we have to ask others for help and advice about how to untie complicated knots. And we need to be ready for more knots to develop, just like this one, as we try to untangle the first one. Tying and untying knots requires practice and skill.
So, here, if you like undoing knots, practice your skill on this clump of knots while I try to summarize everything that we've just talked about. Just like it's hard to untangle a knot, it's also hard to fix a relationship when we hurt someone. Untying a knot helps us remember some important things about how to fix a mistake that we've made or a mess that has arisen between us and others. The knot or mistake creates a disruption in communication, and ignoring the knot allows the knot to get tighter and harder to untangle. Don't give up fixing the situation after only one try. Sometimes we have to ask others for help and advice. So how are those knots coming along, Mike?
Well,
You're getting there.
I'm getting there. I think I'll get it.
All right, all right. So please join Becky and Kelly in this next song with movement. This piece was written and choreographed by Leah Morris for our theme this month. The words will be on the screen, and you can watch Becky and Kelly for the simple movements to go with the words.
In every place where I can feel I might get hurt, but I can heal. On my forehead, on my nose, in my belly and on my toes. In every place where I can feel I might get hurt, but I can heal. Inside my heart and on my knees, a little time and love can ease. In every place where I can feel I might get hurt, but I can heal. It takes forgiveness, it takes time, an open heart and open mind. In every place where I can feel I might get hurt, but I can heal.
Thank you, Becky and Kelly. During the last few years, I've been hearing more and more about people who have stopped talking with certain friends and relatives because they disagree with each other. Suddenly, people who have been friends for 20 or more years are no longer talking to each other. Cousins and uncles and aunts refuse to share space with each other during family gatherings. Are these sudden and maybe not so sudden divides going to continue forever? Or can we look at ways to heal these relationships? Sometimes friendships or family relationships can have problems, and it can be hard to know what to do. Being friends doesn't mean that you'll never fight. Sometimes fights are easy to move on from, and they can make your friendship stronger and closer. And sometimes small fights can turn into large ones, and you may have to work hard to sort things out. You got to work and pick at those knots. We learn that conflict is a part of life, but it's the actions afterwards that can heal. And yes, sometimes the friendship just won't work out. And there are many reasons friends and relatives have conflict. And some of these might include that they feel excluded, or there's a misunderstanding, or a change in priorities, or different interests. Maybe there's a personality clash, or broken trust, bullying, feeling disconnected, jealousy, different opinions, betrayal, manipulation, different values, peer pressure, competitiveness, or changes in friendship groups. So after a conflict has occurred, allow some time to calm down and relax. And when you're ready, reflect on how you feel and think about what happened. So here are some knot untying tools, and it might help you to ask yourself these questions. Could you be overreacting? Is it worth losing a friend over? What was it that made you upset, hurt, or angry? Who can you talk to outside of this situation? What do you want your friend to do or not to do? What do you need to be able to overcome this conflict? What's bothering you the most about this conflict? And what role might you have played in this conflict? And how would you like things to be with your friend or relative? What might be going on for your friend to make them act differently? So, thinking about these things beforehand and dwelling on these, it's not necessarily saying that you are at fault for this conflict, but you can definitely take some time to think about where you are in this conflict and how you might be able to help resolve it. So sometimes you or your friends might decide that the friendship just isn't working, and losing a friend is tough. Whatever happened, there are some ways to cope. One is just recognize that it is okay to be sad. Take care of yourself. Spend time with other friends. Keep yourself busy. Meet new people. Talk to someone about how you feel. Try something new. Be polite and respectful. But for friends and relatives that want to move past this conflict, it's important that you and your friend talk things through. And here are some more workings at that knot, things that you can do to untie that knot. Reach out. Let your friend know that you want to talk and work things out. And make time to talk. When you're both ready and calm, set time to talk. Keep calm. Talk in a calm, quiet voice. Take a break if things get heated. Be present. Make eye contact. Avoid interrupting and distractions. And talk about your feelings. Use I statements and be specific. Be open. Let your friend share their feelings and thoughts. Apologize. Say you're sorry for your role or actions during the conflict. And you can agree to disagree. And when you want to move past this and find it hard to agree, you fix things together. Figure out how to stop this from happening again. And be patient. It may take time for things to go back to normal. And then celebrate. If you're able to work things out, celebrate by having fun.
theme this month is healing. What is healing? We are talking about more than modern medicine and the work of doctors and nurses. Definitions say it is the process of making or becoming healthy again, easing pain, and alleviating suffering. Earlier, we talked about that in terms of our relationships with family and friends and healing wounds in the relationship, just like the knot in the tube that then prevented communication. So I'm thinking about healing very broadly. I really like this topic because I've come to understand that my role in life is as a healer. Some of you may know that in my first career, I was a nurse, a healer of the body. I later returned to school and then set out on this path of being a minister, a healer of the spirit. And I'm again in school, working on adding psychologists to my portfolio, a healer of the mind. I feel these have been presented to me as clear and open paths ahead of me that I felt compelled to follow. While I did my due diligence in studying about these roles before I embarked on the path, there was really no serious thought that I wouldn't follow the path. It has always been clear to me that a healer is what I am and what I was meant to be. Those who do healing work of any kind are likely to be familiar with the idea of the wounded healer. Let me share a story from the mythology of ancient Greece. In the old stories, there was a centaur named Chiron. Centaurs were those mythical creatures that were part horse and part human, and Chiron himself was related to the gods, so he was immortal. What does an immortal being do with his forever long life? Chiron chose to devote his life to the healing arts, and he became very wise in the ways of herbs and poultices and other healing arts. In the mythology, he was also a teacher to the men who are known as the early physicians, what we would call doctors today. So Chiron was a healer and a teacher, very different than the other centaurs who were pretty wild and warlike. One day, Heracles came to visit the valley where Chiron and the other centaurs lived. You might remember Heracles, or sometimes called Hercules, who was the strongest man in the world in these old Greek myths. Heracles came to see his friend Phillips in the community of centaurs where he lived because Phillips was wise and could give Heracles some much-needed advice. They were having dinner, and Heracles asked for some wine, and all Phillips had was some sacred wine, which he didn't want to open. But Heracles was perhaps a little rude and somewhat parched, so he opened the wine. You always know the story is about to go off the rails when alcohol is involved. So just the aroma of this sacred wine was intoxicating and crazy-making to all the centaurs within sniffing distance of this dinner of Phillips and Heracles. The centaurs did go crazy. Heracles was surrounded by the part horse, part human creatures that were not thinking straight. They were stampeding, and Heracles feared for his life. He pulled out his bow and arrows, and his arrows were tipped with a poison, and he began to shoot at any centaurs that came close to him, just warning shots, if possible. Sadly, the wise healer among centaurs, Chiron, was shot in the thigh, a deep muscle wound. Heracles and the others learned this once all the excitement was over and all the centaurs got themselves under control again. But poor Chiron, he was immortal, so he could not die, and yet he was wounded. Now, as a healer, he thought he could heal himself, but alas, that was beyond his abilities. And so, as a wounded healer, he had the power to heal others, but lived with his own pain every day. His pain helped Chiron understand what his patients were going through, and he became even more empathetic to their suffering and better at providing for their needs. It is said that after a long life, Chiron could not handle the pain anymore, and he voluntarily gave up his immortality so that he could die. the gods, in gratitude for all the healing work Chiron had done and all of the other healers he had taught, decided to place Chiron up in the heavens as the constellation Centaurus, so he would be remembered forever. Now, since this service is meant to be multi-generational, there might be more young folks listening than the average Sunday, so someone might be wondering why I chose to talk about wounded healers today. I think that people of all ages know, and I think that we learn pretty early, that we humans are fragile beings. Far from being immortal like Chiron, we live finite lives. We try to live with joy in relationship with people we care about, but even in the closest of families or the closest of friendships, at some point we all learn that we can experience an emotional wound. Or a wound can be something physical, like breaking a bone or other accidents. Or we can have a spiritual wound when we question how bad things happen to good people and we hurt because someone we care about is hurting too. Henry Nouwen wrote about wounded healers. He said, "Nobody escapes being wounded. We all are wounded people, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. The main question is not how can we hide our wounds so we don't have to be embarrassed, but rather, how can we put our woundedness in the service of others?" We cannot run away from our own woundedness, and it is a necessary component of learning to become a good healer in the lives of other people we care about. Perhaps not all of us will work in some sort of healing profession, but we will each be called upon to help people we love in their times of need. We are each a healer in some way. Over the years, I've come to realize that healing is not about finding a cure for something. It is about helping another to suffer less when they are hurting. When we have each lived the lives we have lived and experienced the wounds that every one of us has experienced, we have become better able to help others during times of pain and grief. Just as it was for Chiron, who became an even better healer of others in pain as a result of experiencing his own woundedness. And as Nouwen suggested, the point is not that we are wounded. The point is to ask ourselves, what are we going to do in the service of others as a result of what we've learned about ourselves in the experience of our woundedness? Let us remember, we do not live this life alone. We are joined by so many others, and we each have within us the healing power to help others, to support others in times of sadness, pain, or loss. When someone you know is hurting, you may understand how they are feeling as a result of your own life experience. And in this way, you can support them and help them to heal. May it ever be so, and blessed be you all. Our closing hymn is number 396 in the gray hymnal, "I Know This Rose Will Open."
I know this rose will open.
These closing words were written by Reverend Maureen Killoran. No matter how weak or how frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, to do the work of justice and love. Be strong, be connected, each day act so you may be a little more whole.